Actually, Tim Hunkin did start by making cardboard arcade games, weirdly enough. What I'm going to do, actually, I've 7 minutes. I don't know how I'm going to fill this with anything interesting, but I've got my resume down to 2 lines, which is born 1948, not yet dead. So there's a few things here that might give you some indication of the sort of thing I do. She's really in this armchair, you see. You can see her eyes, her hands, and her feet. This should be making a noise, shouldn't it? Does it matter? Can we hear it? Because the noise is coming up in a second. Now, if you know much about automata, very often you'll find that people spend an awfully long time making machines that will write and will do drawings and will play musical instruments. But I've found something much cleverer than that. This is the little reader. I'm sorry he doesn't read out loud, but he reads. And he reads in German too, and he can do other languages. He can't do Arabic because that would mean we'd put new cams into the machine. The man with no pipe. But actually, he does have a pipe. I sometimes inflict art on the public. This is a hydraulic contraption that's screwed onto a building in Exeter in the UK. It wakes up. It's supposed to be on the hour, but actually this is being worked by Will Jackson from behind because we hadn't rigged up the computer thing. There he is. Can you see him just in the corner there? He's giving it a particularly dull performance. The computer's much better. It frightens the life out of people in the building. I think it's the Exeter Young People's Music Society behind there, and they absolutely hate the hydraulic power pack that screeches into life every hour. There's a thing called a Geneva mechanism there that, I don't know why, mechanical buffs really love this contraption. I made a thing called the Man from Geneva, in which the idea of a Geneva machine is that it very quickly flips from one station to another. The pin slides through that slot, whips that thing round, and suddenly something's facing 90 degrees to where it was. So I applied it to this Man from Geneva here. And this is actually my Facebook face, and people don't realize I keep flipping them round from time to time. Science of conversation. Shows that, you see, if you haven't got a brain in your head, you can't talk, except I seem to be managing, actually, at the moment. That's the mechanism that does it. A real engineer would find a simple way of doing that. I don't know what this means. They're having some kind of exchange, the king and the queen. It's the kind of thing kings and queens talk about. Hey, it's your turn to pull the sack out. This is the English Channel we're talking about here. It's a weird cam, that. That's what we like, we engineer-y type people. Arty engineers, real engineers just want to get the job done. here's Mr. and Mrs. Noah. She's really fed up with him spending all his time building the ark. And they're kind of having a bit of a domestic. It's the first thing where I use magnets. I really like that magnetic attraction thing. The Borgia's cat. This is the cat that belongs to the famous Italian Borgia family, who are notorious poisoners. And if I were the cat in their household, I wouldn't drink the milk that they left spilt on the ground there. Well, this is one of these things where you've got a reflection in the bath. It's actually Marat, the French revolutionary, who was stabbed in his bath by Charlotte Corday. But it's mainly there to do this sort of silly reflective thing. It's not really a mirror. I don't know if anybody's kind of caught that. This is a piece that's in a museum near Rome, I think. I called it Zuppa Turca, meaning Turkish soup. After Ingres' famous painting of a lot of voluptuous-looking women in the Turkish bath. You see, if you make little models of people and just kind of stir underneath, they'll do this sort of thing. They heave in a rather satisfying way. That's me doing that. I didn't make a machine, though. And I thought I'd show you the sordid conditions under which I manufacture things. The Japanese says, I've just learned this, having come to San Francisco, it says, waiting to be opening for you, ready to look up. Look at it, it's a disgrace, I'm ashamed. And I'm going to show you in my sink now. This is, shut your eyes, children. And these are all things I've started making and not quite finished. That's a thing I made for my son's wedding arch that they had to walk under. There's a dodo, there's Picasso's Guernica horse, a typewriter. I'll give it to you, Jeremy. Do a lot of drawing in little books to waste my ideas. These are dead people's furniture that people give me when they can't sell the stuff. I make things out of it. And this is trash because I'm kind of under false pretenses, really, because I don't belong in this trash category, except that the things I make will be trash eventually. My saw made out of a sewing machine and a church organ. It's a very sensitive little machine. It's been going for 30 years now. How about that? Next. I thought I'd show one of my favourite tools, which is this four-jaw chuck. You can put square things in it and make them round very quickly. And the tool doesn't actually touch the wood in this version of it. There's a kind of rough edit tool coming up. Very handy for making a dowel on the end of a square thing. There's a technique on this. Lots of healthy safety things. Don't have your sleeves dangling over the whirlwind. And this is my unfavourite tool, a horrible band tool. I've got lots of tools, but mostly for cutting wood I use a surgeon's scalpel. I could probably get by with just that, actually. Just making a little king here. And this is one of my failures. I wanted to make a machine that showed you how you shouldn't pick things up for a science museum. And the big idea I had was to make him pick up a guinea pig and to have the strain gauge that was measuring the strain in his back on a dial on his head. The museum said, well, that's fine, but let's not have the dial and let's not have the guinea pig. So I said, let's not do it. As an addition here, I've got this. I brought this along because a friend of mine from San Francisco, who I'd given this to recently, had broken it, and I mended it this morning. It's a model of San Francisco. I thought it was wildly appropriate to this occasion. We've got a San Andreas fault here. We can play with these afterwards. Have I filled 7 minutes now? Yes. Okay, thank you.